Hit him with the chlamydia for the eardrums. What did you ask again?
Well, long distance relationship.
Long distance. So long distance though. In a nutshell, it depends the situation.
Yeah.
Like I could go on tour for like a month or 2 months.
Yeah.
And be loyal. Like I can jerk off. I know Pornhub very well. You know what I mean?
Too much information, bro.
I'm used to skipping through stepsister videos to get to what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? That's all it is anymore. But no, yeah, like, you know, I think that can work. But I mean, like, if you literally live somewhere else, and this is no disrespect to whoever it is, if they're listening, they know who I'm talking about. But I don't think they can work. Not unless you have a mutual agreement or even an unwritten agreement where both of you are doing what you want to do on your own time.
If you,
because I believe you could find a soulmate and someone you want to be with, but if you guys aren't compatibly ready to either move from where you live or them the opposite, because this is like this is across the world. This long distance relationship I'm talking about. A couple cities away, sure. Someone drives, that's easy. You know what I mean? I've had relationships with girls in other cities. I broke up with them because they cheated. So, you know, even that I don't have a whole lot of faith in, but that could work. Yeah. But across the world, I almost feel like there has to be an unwritten agreement where, like,
or you agree that it's okay.
Basically,
whether
whether
really
written or unwritten.
That,
but if you're only seeing your boyfriend
3
times a year,
some people do that. Some people
but for a week, 3 times a year.
No,
you're gonna go celibate the rest of the year.
No,
it really depends on the relationship too. I find if
they're good and they're calling you every morning and making you feel important like crazy, I mean that's
different.
How
long you've been together too, right?
It's so many factors.
But there's people that they're in long-term relationships, but they allow each other to have their fun outside the like.
Because I believe you can meet a soulmate, but at the same time, it's like if you meet your soulmate and they live on the other side of the world, it's like that doesn't mean y'all don't want to get together again. But like, does that mean you guys both have to suffer each other to be where like you can't do anything else
physically?
Like you can't be like physically free as an individual, but you only see this person once. And the crazy thing about that too, the other reason why I don't think that works, in my opinion, this is all I'm saying. But I'm someone who feels like you need to take time with a relationship. Like I wait like months and months before I'm like even like, can I call you my girlfriend? You know what I mean? Like it takes time. I'm very serious on the aspect of time and making sure you know what you want. And that's another big thing I think is that when it depends. Like if you were dating in said city you live and one person moves, that's one thing because you could have already built this emotional connection bond. But when you meet someone who lives in another place and you feel that connection, I almost feel like you have to just make that unwritten agreement because the fact of the matter is when you two do, like if you move to Canada or you move to fucking Cleveland? New Zealand, wherever, right? To be with said person, you've never lived with them. You've only spent said amount of time with them. So what if you go to their crib and it's always dirty and shit? They let the dog shit on the floor and shit and they don't really care. All that
I know
kind
this
of
person.
You're like, yo, this drives me nuts and shit. But like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so
get to know them.
When you live with someone is when you really get to know them, and that's the thing. So you know, I can say that for myself because I spent 7 years dating a girl and then moved to Toronto with them to live with them for a few years, and it wasn't until living with them for a year and a half, maybe 2 tops, I knew it wasn't gonna work. But for 6 years, not living in the same place with each other. It was working. Yeah. So that's the biggest testament I have to say to it, in my opinion. But you could go on with.
Well, what was I saying again? It depends again how long you've been in a relationship for.
Exactly.
Right? Are you engaged or not? Is that person going away for school or work? And it's like I said, it's an opportunity for them to grow. Like my cousin's in a situation where his
fiance, my cousin too.
Yeah, his fiance is going to New York. To study law or get a job, and he lives here. But they've been together for such a period of time where it's like they've come to an agreement. Well, you're going to go there for work. That's going to benefit the both of us if and when we get married. Right? I've always bugged them about, when you guys get married? You guys been engaged for a while now. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, when we're ready. But they've known each other for a while.
I love people like that, though, because that's like myself.
Yeah.
And then once I'm with someone and they start trying to pressure me to get married, it makes me want to get married less. Yeah. Because it makes me more weary,
Ladies,
scared.
are you hearing this?
No, my girlfriend, I think, is watching.
Yeah. Sorry, girlfriend.
And she's throwing the odd few hints. And this is not directed at her. This is actually more directed at the past thing.
Yeah.
Because that was a thing for so many years where, like, it was always thrown in my face. and it was like, yo, I told you before how I feel about this.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, make me feel guilty for it.
Yeah, just not
Once a week doesn't help. It actually makes it worse because now you're actually conflicting me and my inner thoughts and how I feel. And now you're actually making me look at things on a bigger scale than I was looking at them before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because when I look at the relationship where I'm like, this works, this is cool, I'm gradually building towards this point. Before I'm comfortable, and you're starting to push the narrative of let's get married and stuff, that actually makes me withdraw.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, now I'm questioning. Because I wasn't there yet. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not trying to get married yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. And the problem is that girls look at it as a sign of commitment. As to where most guys, at least guys like myself, look at it as a thing where, you know, especially myself.
To end my life.
No, not that. The fact is, I look at marriage at what it is. Marriage was presented into this world through the Catholic Church, and it was presented as a business proposition. What it is, when you look at a marriage contract, it's not a contract of love. It's a contract of business. You guys become a corporation together. And that's the thing. To me, I can love my girlfriend as much as I can love my wife. I don't need that verification, but the problem is most women need the verification of the beautiful day, the family to come. So most guys succumb to it before they're comfortable because they want to make their girlfriend happy because they know they love them. Where at the end of the day, look at the divorce rate. I don't want to get divorced in my life. You know, so I'm sorry if it takes me 10 years to date you before I know I want to get married. But the thing is, I don't want to go through a divorce. I would rather know what I'm getting into is better and it take time than to jump into it and have to regret doing it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because there's people I know going through crazy divorces right now.
Divorces are scary, and then once you add kids and shit, man. You know, my parents luckily stayed together, but my brother, he's a half brother because he was born in my father's previous marriage. And I just look at the tutelage and the way that affects the relationship of the whole family my whole life. You know, I've loved my brother to the highest regard. I like hip hop because he liked hip hop. You know what I mean? It's not the same going back the other way. He loves me, but like I hear from him like once a year. You know what I mean? Wow. You know, like it's a different relationship. And it's because of the way that individual feels and the way that other things presented and played out before I was born. I can't help that. I can't change that. But you know what I can do? Is I can pursue my life to make sure. That's why I never got nobody pregnant. I don't have no kids.
Good for you.
Because, you know, pull-out game strong. But on a real note.
Too much information,
pull-out game.
But you know what? Like, for real. Like, you know. That's the thing. You got to be cautious. You got to know what you want in life and what you're ready for and what you're not. And if you're not ready for something, then don't go jumping face first into it. And that's all I got to say. You know what I mean? And I just think that, you know, women out there, you know, take notes. If your man ain't ready to get married, you've been together for a while, don't look at it like he doesn't love you. It's just maybe his understanding of himself is different than your understanding of yourself.
And your understanding of him and vice versa.
But I think on a woman's note, and I can speak for the ladies, I feel, is that it's always better when a man is chasing a woman versus a woman chasing a man. Because when a woman's chasing a man, she always gets disappointed. And, the girl has strong feelings, the guy may not feel the same way.
Well, and that goes to not to cut you off, but that goes to exactly what I'm saying. When marriage becomes a discussion that the female brings up first, that's another reason what you just said, why it disencourages the man. Because the man wants to be the one who's like, yo, let's do this. Like, you know, like I have a couple of friends I've talked to about the subject. I think the man should basically always pay for dinner. That's like just the way I feel. Like I hate when we go out and my girl pays for dinner because I'm broke. But you know, we're at a point where like our mutual understanding, whatever, talking about the money we have and stuff is just a normal conversation. So it's an understandable thing. But it's still like in the bottom of my gut, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't like it. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things where it's like, you're supposed to be the protector, the taker care, or whatever. You know, and when you feel like you're not in the position to be able to do that, like if I can't support you and our family,
then
myself, it's scary. You know what I mean? And that's but exactly what you said is that's what it is. Like the guy wants to be the one to surprise. Like I don't want to be pressured into giving you a ring, and then when we go do something nice for the night, like I take you to Niagara Falls or something, you're like expecting it. You know what I mean? It's got to come natural. Like, I don't want to hand you a ring and you be like, oh, my God, I'm so flabbergasted. When reality, you're like, I knew he was doing this tonight because we never do this. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, that's lame. That's not the way to get married. Like, I want to fucking, if anything, I'm gonna be like walking to the grocery store with you on the sidewalk and just flip and do it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You'd be like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
That's crazy.
Not romantic,
Yeah,
but you know
exactly,
what? It's
exactly,
unexpected.
exactly.
Because the first time the woman brings up marriage before the guy does, then it's game over for it literally is game over for the princess imagined proposal. Because you're gonna see it coming.
Yeah.
And as a guy, I think you wanna hit the blind side.
But
it's got to be a surprise.
Go ahead.
No, this guy surprises me all the time. This is the same guy from Cleveland.
Shout outs to him.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Shout outs to Cleveland guy.
So I'm ready to live my life with a good, loving woman and smart woman like you, Marianne Gibson.
Woo.
You're my first lady.
Woo!
So he's basically proposing without being on his knee.
Yeah, but you know what? See, like
But he does
we're
it
the
all
age
the
of-
time.
we're the
Like
age
it
of
feels so
text,
weird.
But do you know what? It's because you guys live far away from each other. I bet if he got to see you every day, he could feel you out a little more subconsciously. But when you have to talk to someone through text and phone calls, you have to almost kind of directly feel them out before you know what I mean?
But I'm like, how can someone love me that way? Like, I have self-worth and self-respect. Don't get me wrong. But it's kind of like, we're not together all, like, 20, it's like, we're so far apart from each other. But how can you say you love me if you haven't lived with me, you haven't been into my house?
That's the biggest
Well,
thing.
you can live with somebody and not love them either.